Welcome back to Business BTS, the channel that takes you behind the scenes of the world's biggest business stories. Today, we're diving into a company that has quietly revolutionized not just the tech industry, but has become a central figure in the AI revolution. We're talking about NVIDIA, a company that started out with one clear goal: making graphics cards for gamers. But now, they're the ones driving advancements in artificial intelligence, supercomputing, healthcare, and even autonomous vehicles. So, how did a gaming hardware company end up shaping the future of industries worldwide? This is the NVIDIA effect, and it's one that's changing everything. Let's rewind to the early 1990s. The internet was still in its infancy, and personal computers were becoming household items. But gaming, it was just starting to take off. NVIDIA entered the scene in 1993, co-founded by three visionaries: Jensen Huang, Chris Malachowski, and Curtis Preem. The company had one clear mission: create high-performance graphics chips to make gaming more immersive and visually stunning. Their first big success came in 1999 with the launch of the GeForce 256, hailed as the world's first graphics processing unit, or GPU. The GeForce 256 was groundbreaking. For the first time, a single chip was responsible for transforming 3D graphics, taking the load off of the computer's CPU. This wasn't just an incremental improvement, it was a leap that laid the foundation for NVIDIA's dominance in gaming for decades to come. But here's the thing. NVIDIA's co-founder and CEO, Jensen Huang, had a much bigger vision for the GPU. He believed that these chips could do more than just create pretty pictures on a screen. He envisioned a future where GPUs would change industries. In the early 2000s, gaming wasn't just a hobby. It was becoming an industry, and NVIDIA was at the forefront. Their GPUs powered everything from high-end gaming rigs to consoles like Microsoft's Xbox. NVIDIA became synonymous with high-performance gaming. They not only shaped the gaming experience, but also played a massive role in building gaming culture. Think about the rise of esports, competitive gaming leagues, and massive conventions like E3. NVIDIA had their fingerprints on it all. But NVIDIA wasn't content with just dominating the gaming space. While they were delivering top-tier graphics to gamers worldwide, Jensen Huang and his team were already looking at how their GPUs could be used for something much bigger than gaming, something that would shift the entire tech landscape. They were thinking about artificial intelligence. Here's where things get really interesting. It turns out the same GPUs that were so good at creating realistic video game graphics could also be used to power artificial intelligence. AI requires an incredible amount of data processing, and unlike traditional CPUs, GPUs are designed to handle parallel processing tasks. That's exactly what deep learning, the foundation of AI, needed. And this was the moment NVIDIA transitioned from a gaming company to a central player in the AI revolution. In the early 2010s, NVIDIA made a bold move. They released CUDA, a software platform that allowed developers and researchers to use NVIDIA's GPUs for more than just gaming. Suddenly, the scientific community and tech giants like Google, Facebook, and Tesla began using NVIDIA's GPUs to power their AI research. This wasn't just a side project for NVIDIA. It became their future. A key moment that cemented NVIDIA's role in the AI world came in 2016 when Google's AlphaGo, an AI system powered by NVIDIA's GPUs, defeated the world champion of Go, an ancient game more complex than chess. This victory sent shockwaves through the tech world, proving that AI was no longer theoretical. It was real, and NVIDIA was at its core. AI researchers needed processing power, and NVIDIA's GPUs delivered it. the tech world took note, and NVIDIA began to dominate the AI hardware space. Companies from every industry, whether it's Tesla working on self-driving cars or healthcare companies using AI for diagnostics, relied on NVIDIA to fuel their progress. So, why are NVIDIA's GPUs so perfect for AI? It all comes down to the way GPUs work. A GPU is designed to handle thousands of tasks simultaneously, which is perfect for the kind of data crunching AI needs. AI models have to process vast amounts of data to learn patterns and make decisions. And that's where NVIDIA's GPUs come into play. Their ability to handle parallel processing makes them faster and more efficient than traditional CPUs. NVIDIA didn't just stop at hardware. They developed entire ecosystems of tools, like CUDA and TensorRT, that make it easier for AI developers to harness the power of their GPUs. From self-driving cars to natural language processing models, NVIDIA's technology has become the foundation for today's AI advancements. Take Tesla, for example. NVIDIA's GPUs are powering the AI behind Tesla's self-driving software. Healthcare companies are using NVIDIA's tech for AI-based diagnostics and drug discovery. And of course, let's not forget how NVIDIA's GPUs are powering the large language models we hear so much about, like OpenAI's GPT models. The impact NVIDIA has had on AI is enormous, and the company is just getting started. In fact, NVIDIA is betting big on AI becoming a permanent part of everyday life, and they're positioning themselves at the center of this AI-driven world. NVIDIA's transformation into an AI powerhouse has had a dramatic impact on its financial success. In 2024, NVIDIA remains one of the most valuable tech companies in the world, with a market cap that has consistently stayed above the $1 trillion mark. Yes, trillion, with a T. To put this into perspective, NVIDIA's market cap has grown tenfold since 2020, driven largely by the explosion of AI adoption and its dominance in GPU technology. In 2024, NVIDIA reported record revenue of over $50 billion, with more than 60% of this revenue coming from AI and data center applications. While gaming still remains a significant part of their business, it's the AI sector that is propelling NVIDIA into new heights. With the surge in AI-driven innovation, NVIDIA has expanded its product lines to include high-performance GPUs, like the A100 and H100, which are used by companies around the world to train large language models and other AI systems. The demand for these chips continues to outstrip supply as AI takes center stage in global technology. Speaking of AI models, one of NVIDIA's biggest contributions to the AI landscape has been its hardware's ability to power large-scale models like GPT-4 and the upcoming GPT-5. OpenAI, the company behind ChatGPT, relies heavily on NVIDIA's A100 GPUs to train their language models, which require massive computational resources. In 2024, NVIDIA's cutting-edge hardware is at the core of nearly every major AI breakthrough. From OpenAI's GPT models to Google's DeepMind and Tesla's self-driving software, NVIDIA's GPUs are doing the heavy lifting. This has cemented their place as the leader in AI hardware and has made them indispensable to companies and research institutions. But NVIDIA's ambitions go even further. They are also exploring quantum computing, which could potentially revolutionize AI training by delivering exponentially faster processing power. While quantum computing is still in its infancy, NVIDIA is betting on it as the next frontier in computing technology. But NVIDIA's rise to the top hasn't come without its challenges. The global semiconductor shortage has affected everyone in the industry, including NVIDIA. This shortage, driven by pandemic-related disruptions and increased demand for electronics, has made it difficult for NVIDIA to meet the growing demand for their AI chips. Then, there are the geopolitical tensions. As NVIDIA continues to expand, they found themselves caught in the crosshairs of the US-China tech rivalry. Export controls on advanced AI hardware have forced NVIDIA to navigate complex regulatory landscapes, all while competing with Chinese companies like Huawei and the growing AI ambitions of Chinese tech firms. NVIDIA also faces stiff competition from other players like AMD and Intel, who are investing heavily in AI technologies. However, as of now, NVIDIA remains the clear leader in the AI hardware race. But with competitors ramping up their own R&D, NVIDIA will have to keep innovating to stay ahead. So, what's next for NVIDIA? Well, they're not just stopping at AI. The company is pushing into new areas like virtual reality, digital twins, and even the metaverse. Their Omniverse platform aims to create interconnected virtual worlds that will change how industries work, from design to simulation. NVIDIA's AI research is still at the forefront of their growth strategy. They're investing in AI-driven solutions for healthcare, autonomous vehicles, and robotics. And they're betting on a future where AI will become as commonplace as electricity. Jensen Huang often says we're in the iPhone moment of AI, a time when AI will transform industries in ways we can't even imagine yet. But with great power come great challenges. NVIDIA will need to navigate the hurdles of competition, geopolitical tensions, and supply chain disruptions. One thing's for sure, NVIDIA's story is far from over. They're shaping the future of AI, and by extension, the future of how we live and work. Thanks for watching Business BTS, where we take you behind the scenes of the world's biggest business stories. If you enjoyed this video and want to dive deeper into the companies shaping our future, don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit that notification bell.